Are you looking for a dessert that's healthy for you and has chocolate in it? Well, I have the recipe for you. Welcome to Whole and Healthy Cooking with Chef Val. I am Chef Valerie Wilson, and my business name is Macro Val. I've been teaching cooking classes for 28 years, and I have come out with cookbook number 7, Sensational Sublime Sea Vegetables. All the recipes feature sea vegetables. And today I'm going to share with you how to make the chocolate walnut raisin Nori candies. Yep, that's right. These chocolate candies are going to have the sea vegetable nori in them. So let's get cooking, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about the cookbook in a few minutes. But the first thing we need to do is take 4 ounces of unsweetened cocoa. You find that in a cocoa bar, and you put that in the pan. So I already have the heat on low. Make sure you have the heat on the lowest possible temperature so you don't accidentally scorch the chocolate. So we have 4 ounces. Make sure it's unsweetened cocoa too, because I had a student who once went and bought a 4-ounce bar of cocoa, not realizing, and she bought the one that was already sweetened, and of course it had sugar in it, and we don't want to eat white refined sugar. So we're going to add our own sweeteners to it. We're going to put a half a cup of brown rice syrup, the healthiest sweetener there is. We have a half a cup right here. Okay, I'm going to pour that in there so it can start melting with the chocolate. So brown rice syrup is made from whole organic brown rice, complex carbohydrate, and so because this sweetener is made with a complex carbohydrate, that means it'll never spike your blood sugar level. So the sugar that's in here is maltose, M-A-L-T-O-S-E. You can only get maltose from whole grains, such as brown rice. Now, I've been teaching about brown rice syrup for 28 years, and I have a few videos on my YouTube channel all about brown rice syrup. Also on my private cooking channel, my Patreon group, Whole and Healthy Cooking, I have some desserts where I make desserts using brown rice syrup. It's the one that I use for all my desserts because it's the healthiest sweetener there is. Now, in addition to the brown rice syrup, for this particular recipe, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. It just boosts the sweetness up a little bit more. And if you're serving this candy to people who have been eating white refined sugar, which is ridiculously sweet, or even worse, an artificial sweetener, they're going to want the dessert to be a little sweetener. And sometimes I've found just a little bit of maple syrup, like 1 tablespoon. It just brings out the flavor of the chocolate, makes it a little more flavorful for people. So that's 1 tablespoon of organic maple syrup. And I also have 1 tablespoon of a non-dairy beverage. You can use your favorite. I like rice, but you could use a soy or an almond or an oat, whatever your favorite is. And that 1 tablespoon is going to help make the candy a little creamy. So it's going to be chocolate, it's going to be crunchy nuts, and it's going to be creamy, delicious. So in the pan, we have the cocoa, the brown rice syrup, the maple syrup, and the little bit of non-dairy beverage, and you want those to melt and come together, all right? So that's going to take just a minute there. Now, the new cookbook, Sensational Sublime Sea Vegetables, is for sale on my website, macroval.com. It is my first e-cookbook, which means once you purchase it, it will be sent to you in a digital download, and you can print it out, and then you have all of the recipes on paper like this, or you can save it to your computer or your device or whatever, and you can pull up the recipes whenever you want. So today's dessert features the sea vegetable nori. Have you guys had nori before? You've probably had it in brown rice nori rolls, or what some people call sushi. And I do have a brown rice nori roll recipe in the new cookbook, the way that I make the nori rolls, which is very delicious. But this is the nori, and so this is one of the sea vegetables, and it comes in sheets. I want to make sure I pull out 1 sheet of nori, not 2. Here. Yeah, I want 1 sheet of nori. So it's a sea vegetable, right? It grows in the ocean, so it has a slightly salty taste to it, but all sea vegetables have a bitter taste to them too. They shred the nori plant and then they lay it out to dry, and that's how they get these sheets. Now, sea vegetables are the most nutrient-dense food on the planet, in case you haven't heard. Ridiculously high in iron, in calcium, very high in protein, contain natural occurring iodine from the ocean, so really good for your thyroid. They also contain things like vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin E. Let's see, nori in particular is really good to help aid in digestion. It's really good for high blood pressure, can help stabilize it, reduces mucus out of your system. Each sea vegetable has some unique characters to it. And in the cookbook, for each sea vegetable, I have an information page that will tell you all about each individual sea vegetable so you can learn more. All right. So one thing you do want to pay attention to when you're making this recipe, again, you don't want to accidentally scorch, the chocolate. So we just want the chocolate to melt, which it's getting there right now. So let me show you how to work with the nori. Okay, so it says in the recipe to have the nori cut up in small pieces. Now you can achieve that with a pair of scissors if you want. I've got a bowl here, and I'm just going to cut the nori like in half. I'm going to cut it in half again, and then you can just keep cutting it if you want. You can, just chop it up into really small pieces with your scissors, like that. Kind of a good way to do it. Now, if you want a little easier version, maybe you have a mini food processor, and after I chop up the nori into pieces, I put it in here and chop it. It takes a few minutes, to chop up the nori, but this way you get the nori into even smaller pieces. And the trick with this candy is to have the nori in small pieces, so people are going to eat this delicious chocolate candy and they're not even going to know how healthy it is for them. They're eating this candy, it's got calcium and iron and vitamin K for your bones, and it's fantastic. All right, we have a little bit of bubbling going on around the edges. So let's just take a look at this. Looks yummy. So here's some of the other ingredients that are going in there. Half a cup of organic raisins. Please make sure they're organic, because when you dry fruit, you concentrate it, right? And so if it's sprayed with chemicals and pesticides, it gets concentrated and it has a terrible bitter flavor, not to mention that the pesticides are terrible for you. We have a half a cup of walnuts. Now I've toasted and chopped the walnuts, so those are ready to go. Okay, and then we dump in the 1 sheet of nori. And the last ingredient is this organic puffed brown rice cereal. Okay, you're going to find this at a health food store. If you can't find it at a health food store, you can do a Google search. But there's nothing in this but brown rice. There's no added sweetener to it, so make sure you read the ingredients. All right, that's going in there. And then we start mixing this together. I still have the heat on. Once I see that this is going to come together, which it looks really nice, I'll turn the heat off. Turn the heat off now, okay? Because we don't need to keep cooking it. I just wanted to make sure that the chocolate was completely melted, and it was. And now we have this delicious chocolate goodness, and it smells amazing. I smell chocolate. Woohoo! Yes, absolutely wonderful. Make sure all the brown rice cereal is covered with the chocolate. That's what you want, right? How's that? Yum. Look at that. Okay. Now, the way that I make the candies is I have a mini scoop and I have a silicone tray so the chocolate won't stick to it, okay? And I take 1 scoopful, I push it against the side of the pan so that it's flat, and I put it on the tray like so. So I take it You see, I push it against the side. So I'm kind of compacting it, but I'm also pushing it down so it's one level scoop. So all my pieces of candy are the same size, like so. I'm telling you, you will be amazed at how delicious this is and the fact that you are eating chocolate candy that is healthy for you with the sea vegetable nori in it. Okay. That is the candy. Now you can just put this in the refrigerator. You don't need to put this in the freezer. Just put it in the fridge until it sets up. Oh, probably about 30 minutes and it'll be good to eat. It's a soft candy. But it's got the crunch in it from the walnuts and the cereal. Very delicious. So I hope you get a chance to make this recipe, and I hope you start incorporating sea vegetables more into your diet because they're so healthy and wonderful for you. So to get a copy of Sensational Sublime Sea Vegetables, you can go to macroval.com. You can also go to macroval.com and see all of my upcoming cooking classes and sign up for my newsletter. So you will get a weekly newsletter informing you of when I write a new blog, when I come out with a new Patreon video of a recipe, when I go live on Facebook and YouTube, and anything else that I have to share. Make sure you sign up for that newsletter at macroval.com. For now, get in the kitchen and cook healthy.